without further ado, I'll take us live on what we call the YouTube, and this should be pretty darn exciting, everybody. Welcome to the stage. This is going to be our first episode of the comedy battles, everybody. Our first time trying the virtual comedy battles. So please welcome your host for the most, ladies and gentlemen. This is Stephen Young.
Thank you. Wait, I'm not the host?
You're not the host. You're a contestant, Mike.
Hey, message received, Chuck, loud and clear.
This was awkward.
Sorry, I stole your thunder there for a moment.
It's fine, Conan. Enjoy TBS.
Conan, it's all mine.
No, it's an honor, Chuck, and all of you to host the inaugural virtual comedy battles, which is steeped in tradition. It goes back to 7 Mountain Time, now 7:01. But I think we can live up. I think we can live up to it. And generally, for those of you watching, it's going to be really fun comedians engaging in 1-minute rounds. With wearing a mouthpiece and sometimes a codpiece. They'll be given a topic, and they will have to be funny about that. And then the judges will be the judge about how they did, but in part based on your response. So if you have a microphone, please leave it on so we can hear you, unless you're doing a Jeffrey Toobin thing. Just turn it off for a minute or two and come back. But I'm just here to kind of get the festivities started, and I'm in a pretty good mood today. I really am. I'm having a good day. The check engine light on my car finally burned out, so problem solved. It was kind of nice. And I'm shopping for a new car, and that's a little tricky. I went to a Volvo and took a test drive, and the salesman said, "No one's ever died in a Volvo." So I shot him. Looks like somebody's going to have to be changing their marketing materials, but I made it here. I mean, obviously it was an action-packed day for me, and I was a little late. I was playing a game of Marco Polo with a mime, and it took forever. Damn you, Marcel! I know you're in an invisible box, but where? So that might be the only act out of the show. But I had a great week. I mean, I'm a economy flyer, I will admit, and I just go through Priceline, and lately all my flights are routing me through the Kabul airport, which is kind of a problem. You would not believe the security line there. But I figured out the trick. You just have to take Uber armored personnel carrier, and then but it's kind of hard. I mean, I'm looking at this. It's so hard getting through that airport. I'm thinking, even OJ from a Hertz commercial couldn't get through this one. But and that's a joke for anyone who's X years old or more. He did a commercial for Hertz where he's running through the airport. He's running and he's ready and he's strapping, and an old woman says, "Go, OJ, go!" And I thought, man, I see why he did Hertz and not Avis. But and people are complaining about how our president might be handling this evacuation from this country we've been at war for 20 years. And I don't get it. I mean, like the last president would have done any better. I mean, he could barely evacuate the White House, and he only took one refugee from Slovenia.
Need the glass coffee just to evacuate his bowels.
So look, yeah, I mean, the first time he evacuated on oxygen. I don't want to bog this down. I'm happy to be here. I think we should really launch into the actual combatants here. But first, my logo. First,
Right. I forgot to plug that you're from Beer Comics at the Bar, and that people should listen to your terrific podcast on Instagram.
On Instagram and every major podcast. We are popular in places neighboring Afghanistan. So I do wonder on those big flights with the hundreds of people. What's the in-flight movie? Do you guys think for that?
Yeah, Close Encounters of the Second.
You think, yeah, Con Air maybe, or what do you? I mean, probably not.
Zero Dark 30.
Air Force
Full
One.
Metal
Not
Jacket.
Black Down.
Full
Not
Metal
Black Hawk
Jacket.
Down.
Yeah.
Full Metal Jacket.
Or maybe Ishtar, but I don't know.
Ooh.
Anyway, go to the website, go to the InstaSnap thing, or watch us tomorrow. We're going to be performing live at a brewery, Denver Beer Company. Should be really fun. So here's the first battle. And I mean, my gosh, talk about pacing yourself. We're not doing that tonight. We are not going all in early with a couple of really funny guys. And in one corner, in I guess the upper half of this box I'm looking at, is a funny guy I've known for years, my favorite Irishman, Rick Bryan.
Hey, what up?
Hey.
And on the other side of the V, another man who's been, gearing up for this for minutes, if not longer, the very funny Chip Jones. So it's an honor. It's 3 rounds, no kidney punches if you can help it. And I'm going to time you, if I can, or Chuck is, for a minute. And at the end of the minute, you're going to hear a gong, I guess, or what do you like? Or a wah-wah, or anything else. I can buy one this free app in the next minute, I guess. But the first topic, oh my gosh, it's a batting practice fastball. But the first topic, Rick Bryan, I think you're going first, is sativa or indica. So I don't know if you need any further elaboration on those topics.
I mean, I'm smoking a hybrid,
Yeah.
Playing it right down the middle. I like that. Well, we'll start.
When Chuck pitched this to me, it was supposed to be a roast battle. What the fuck is this? What do you mean sativa or indica? What are you talking about right now? Like, you can't just spit out nouns. What the fuck is happening? I mean, I'm high as hell on both sativa and indica, and I'm too high for this shit right now. But I ain't one of the best guys in the world, okay? Indica will put you in the couch. Nah, it won't, all right? I'm high. I'm on stage. I got the energy. You see me all day, every day. If you can't handle your shit, you just can't handle your shit. Sativa, same thing. Oh, I'm having a panic attack. No, you just a pussy, all right? You can't handle this shit, all right? That's all I mean. You're gonna step to the plate like a pro in the game. You best to be a man. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Rick Bryan.
I didn't write nothing down, so I hope that was good.
You're doing great,
awesome.
man. Rick Bryan, ladies and gentlemen. Rick Bryan, round 1, Rick Bryan. And the topic, Chip Jones, the topic is indica or sativa.
Yeah, I'll show you this to start out with. I do have long dreadlocks.
God damn.
And so when people see that, they automatically assume that I smoke and sell weed. And I just want to let you guys know I don't smoke weed. So anybody got glaucoma in the room? No, I'm just kidding. I actually know nothing about weed. This is a weird sort of situation. I mean, I think mainly because I just don't do metric. I don't understand metric system. I remember a few years back, I tried to make pot brownies for my friends, and you would not believe how hard it is to buy 2 cups of weed. You just can't. I mean, you can't. It's fucking impossible, So I guess I'm out on the weed thing. I just know some of the names. Like Afghan Kush and Hindi Kush, and there's one that's called Granddaddy Purple, and I'm like, who's watching Pornhub when they're labeling their weed? I mean, so, I don't know, but I hope a lot of people in Afghanistan are smoking it right now for the anxiety. That's all. Right. I gotta say. I think that's my time.
Oh my gosh!
Hi.
Well,
All
very
right.
tightly. That was a great first round, Chuck. So we move on to the second round.
We move on to the second round. I thought they did great. Give them a round of applause.
Give them
It's
a
so
big round
funny.
of applause.
Here comes round two. This one is.
You know the gig pays bad when ellipsis. Boy, we've been there. We've been there. And Chip, are you going first? I guess
I'll go first. It's only fair that I go first this time.
Okay.
Yeah, you know the gig pays bad when the bookers digging for change in their pocket. You know, that's when you know. I think the only time it's worse is when they're digging for change in your pocket. Then you know you're really up shit's creek. You know it's a bad gig when the club makes you buy the 2-drink minimum. You're like, oh, okay. This does not bode well. And then I think, you know, the capper for every comedian is when the booker tells you, oh, don't worry about money. You're getting paid in exposure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't know I just became a stripper. So, those are the bad gigs. And I think that's my 1 minute.
All right. Very strong. Let's hear it for Chip. That was got some good body blows in there. So Rick, I've seen you in all sorts of venues. We don't need to talk about them, but how do you know when the gig is paying bad?
When they got a stripper pole on the stage. I guess you know the gig is paying bad when you're just in your chonies to do it. You know, you ain't got to have no bottoms in order to make people laugh. That's right. I'm in my chonies, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Nah, man, you know the gig pays bad when you're sitting in front of your goddamn phone in your house doing this shit, man. That's when you know the gig pays bad. It pays bad when Chuck says you want to do something virtual. Like, man, if we ain't on OnlyFans, Chuck, this shit pays bad, man. But I'll see you tomorrow live, man. We're going to do the damn thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Right.
Awesome. All right.
That one pays better.
He said better, you know?
Yeah, it's all relative, Rick.
Right. Right. Multiples of.
Pay me like a person.
Right.
Awesome. Well, 2 rounds in, Chuck, we got a final third round for the. Let's hear it for sure. Let's hear it.
Right. Yeah, they did great on that. Oops, we got one more round here, everybody, and the final round, round 3. And here's the topic.
Oh man, it's a pick breaker.
Everybody bring your kids in the room. Bring your kids in the room.
Well, you know, I just figured you'd be able to explain this to me, Rick.
Did you, Chuck? Did you? Is that what you figured? All right, then. What kind of pussy are we talking about here, Chuck? You know what I'm saying? We talking about the gushy, like we all want to get in, or are we talking about all these little pussy ass motherfuckers online?
I think it's the first one. That's the one I really don't understand.
We're not talking about the pussies that can't handle the weed no more. We're You know what it's like, Chuck. You know damn good well what it's like. And you know what it smells like too, goddammit. Like, it's the shit. I love being in it, but you know, it can't be that pleasant. I guess the best way to describe pussy to you is go ahead, open up a can of sardines and just stick your tongue right up in the middle of that motherfucker.
That was worth the whole show for me right there.
Am I doing this right?
You are doing this very well.
No, that was, teach a man to fish, right? That's what they
say. It's just when you do it, man, you gotta use your tongue very well. You know, get all Mexican with it. Get up in there and be like.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Explains why my wife was always so upset when I came at her with a fork.
Oh shit! Mike came out the
You
basement.
completely misunderstood my intention.
Hell no.
Yeah. Well, that was okay. So, Chip, there's still more information to be imparted. I
There's
believe.
still more on the table. Yeah. This one was the hardest subject because I was thinking like I don't know. This is like explaining Memphis barbecue to a vegan. How do you do that? I mean, the first thing that came to my head was like, when you're a kid in elementary school, making that precipice to becoming a preteen. It's like kids always said about guys like Chuck, Chuck ain't had pussy since pussy had him. He has no idea. So, facts are facts, Chuck. I mean, it's kind of like the whole you like. I mean, you can finger it, you can fuck it. It just doesn't taste like shit when you eat it. I mean, that's what it is. It's basically the same. And often it's a little bit less hairy than some of the bushes I've gone down on. So, go at it, Chuck. You're not missing anything. And you're leaving more pussy from me. So I appreciate it.
That's sweet sentiment there. Well, that was great. Hey, those guys were awesome. Let's hear it for both of them. That was terrific. Rick Bryan and Chip Jones, everybody.
And I get Stacy is our judge. I'm not sure that I include you in on that, Steve. And she can tell us who wins the prize. I got a really great prize for these guys. Somebody is gonna win a little pussy tonight.
Will Chuck be tested on pussy later?
Probably.
Black, you never go back.
Probably. Nah.
That's some patriotic pussy right there.
Right. Stacy Sanders.
That cat is Chuck seeing one for the first time. That's a Tex Avery cat. Ooga, ooga.
Well, whatever the decision, there's got to be a rematch, a pay-per-view. You gotta milk this thing.
Right.
Absolutely. Because this is not easy. I'm not gonna lie, this is not easy, and I know all judges say that, but that's true. No offense to the person I'm not giving the edge to. I'm giving the edge to Chip Jones on this one. I'm sorry, Rick.
Wow.
I love you
Oh, an upset.
Why you gotta go racial?
Rick,
I'm out of here. This is bullshit. This is set up from the beginning, goddammit.
Right. That wasn't.
Rick,
Fortunately, we're going to audit the results for the next 9 months. So
Rick, I feel like that's a good idea. I've already had wine. So
I think the odds were in Rick's favor, and Stacy put a lot of money on me. Is how this went.
Yes.
Your night, right?
As a nonprofit executive director, I definitely did that.
It was Rick.
Well, that
you
was
were both
terrific.
funny. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Stacy, for making the tough choice. That was
I make hard decisions every day, and that I can do it.
Hey,
I did this high. Okay.
Stace, can I ask you a question, Stacy?
Yeah.
Was it pussy that put me over the top?
I'm gonna, you know what? I don't feel like it's
You might have just lost now. Oh,
we have a reversal. Call to Georgia, flip this thing. Who knew?
And now, congratulations, Rick. No,
I'm all about Rick Bryan. That's all I'm saying. I'm all about Rick Bryan.
Me too. I love them both. Enjoyed both performances.
Me too. Oh, this is a terrible.
Hey, Stacy, are you going to be at the show tomorrow? I'll see you at the show tomorrow.
Not now.
You know when they do those photos of somebody handing the donation check, Rick is going to come up and just tear it up.
Take it right
With the giant
for the
scissors.
children.
Chuck,
Right.
Fuck the kids, man. I got kids too, man. I'm Mexican. I got plenty of kids. Shit.
Yeah, but you take care of your kids, so I got to take care of other people's kids.
All right.
Well,
Speaking of kids, we have a more great show ahead. battle number 2 pits two of our best from Open Mic and the Apocalypse Comedy Show, Steve.
I'm excited about this, Chuck. When I saw the card, I couldn't believe it. I mean, this is a rivalry. Depending on your view of whether time is linear, this battle has been going on for a very long time.
Yeah. Millions of years in the making.
Yeah. These two just go at each other and often. So I ought to bring out round 1 and topic 1. So Oog, son of Og versus Bronco Brad, and the topic is Mars rover or billionaire rocket. Mars rover or billionaire rocket, and I guess it's time for Bronco Brad.
Let's hear for Bronco Brad.
Yes, well, thank you very much there, Chuck. Yes, indeed. Well, I don't want to make it a very convincing argument right off, but the Martian rovers are the sweetest little ride you could ever have. Yes, indeed, beats the Chevy Silverado or the Dodge Ram truck. In fact, I love to ride my little filly with me. Yes, indeed, I even wrote a little song about it. Well, I got me a spunky gal from the state of Delaware. She wants to ride my Martian rover and let the wind through her hair. She's got this crazy notion I can drive her all the way to Dover. Just my little astronaut gal and my old blue Martian rover. Yeah. And we're digging up rocks off the ground, digging up dust, sniffing around. My spunky gal from Dover, riding in my Martian rover.
Wow.
Yeah.
That one always makes me cry. That was outstanding.
That one, you're right, Steve. That one's a tearjerker. And so now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Oog, son of Og. Oh, that's awesome.
Wow. Can't argue with that.
Who knew? Oog, son of Og.
Truer grunts were never spoken.
That's true.
Oh boy.
So round 2, topic 2, evolution versus creationism.
Yes. Well, for this here topic, I invited my little science buddy, Wally, the happy talking neutrino. Oh, I'm so glad to compete with you, Bronco Brad. Yes, indeed. So, hey, Wally, what is the difference between evolution and creationism? Well, that's easy, Bronco Brad. Evolution is the historical geological record that shows the beginning of time all the way through the millennia to present time. Well, that's a dang darn interesting theory, Wally, but the actual truth is Earth is only 6,000 years old. Yes. And so what happened was just before the Great Flood, God had all these dinosaur bones and he didn't have a chance to make the rest of the dinosaurs. So he crushed them all up and threw them all over the ground before the flood came. Yes. But Bronco Brad, what about carbon-14 dating? Well, you see, after the Great Flood, little buddy, God had a big old box of carbon-14 and he didn't know what to do with it. So he just went around the earth, just sprinkling carbon-14 all over everything so all the scientists could have something fun to look at. Well, thank you for that, Bronco Brad.
Yeah. Awesome, Bronco Brad. Terrific. And now I guess we should hear from Oog, son of Og.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was great. That was terrific.
Hey, Chuck, is there any way you can get Oog tenure at your college?
Say again. Yeah. He's a prehistory professor. So here's our final topic.
Oh, thank you very much. You know, I love Beyonce. Yes, I love her so much. In fact, I love her so much that one day I want to marry her and make her my dairy farm queen. Oh, yeah. Well, I like a little sassy gal, full of vinegar and vim, like Rihanna, Cardi B, or Lizzo, or maybe even Lil' Kim. But nowadays I'm feeling mighty keen to marry Beyonce and make her my dairy farm queen. And we'll be cleaning out the stalls, shoveling cow crap. I'll teach her milk and she'll teach me how to rap. Tending to our garden in our designer clothes. She's fooling with the rakes and I'm a messing with the hose. Oh yes, and then what? We'll fill up our bathtub with hot water from pails. I'm scratching a beat while she's scratching me with her nails. She's riding on my tractor and we're cutting some hay, just side by side with my bride, Beyonce.
Awesome.
That was a compelling argument. So we still have one more quarter to be heard from Chuck. What's Oog going to say about Beyonce? I'm quite curious.
Beyonce? 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 Me Beyonce. Beyonce, Beyonce.
Well, that's a debate. I'm glad we left to the academics, Chuck.
That's right.
That was really there's something in there for everyone.
Lost in historical translation.
You see Oog going balls out on that one, huh?
I would hate to be the judge here, Chuck. I mean, Stacey, boy, I mean, as I would have guessed, Oog certainly had more topical references, but I don't know how you're gonna decide that one.
I'm torn because that last argument really was even. Like that was just they had good points of view, and one was just a whole different take. But I'm gonna have to go with Og because he finds a way to still communicate in a way we can't understand all of his words, but he still gets his message across.
Right. Got a fun prize for you. This little lion would be really helpful. So congratulations. Sorry, Bronco Brad.
Tough call, because Bronco Brad, you teach too. It's just, it was tough. That was tough.
We learn.
Yeah,
I thought Chuck was voting too, was a judge also.
No, that was a previous, as if you read any of the instructions for the show. I was about to answer, and I'm not falling for that. The person talking right now is the host of Open Mic Comedy Show. We have some quick plugs to do, everybody. Mike is very funny, and on Monday nights is where we met many of these great comedians. So it's broadcast live on YouTube, and a fun place to watch people come and tell jokes. We also donate money to Elevating Connections. Stacy, do you want to briefly restate that for our YouTube audience?
absolutely. So at Elevating Connections, I'm the founder and executive director. We reunite siblings separated in foster care, because that is a thing that happens way too much in the child welfare system. And then we also raise youth voice for older youth that have emancipated out of foster care and need a connection. We help them raise their voice through spoken word, song, art, comedy, and which is being added this year in full force. I'm very excited about that. So last week, we just finished our 7th season of Camp Two Belong, Colorado. It's a summer camp, overnight summer camp, where we reunite siblings that have been separated in foster care. And we were able to still do that with all the concerns about the pandemic, and reunite 39 siblings that had just such a terrific week of coming together and spending time with each other and meeting other kids who are in similar situations, and kids who don't spend a lot of time together, but who left the week appreciating the time that they had, even when they fought with their siblings. We had a birthday party. We had kids leaving with big smiles and already telling me they want to come to our next connecting event, which we are able to put on with the help of Colorado Comedy Shows and all the donations that come through that work. So it's just great. We're still getting great feedback from all of our kids about the week and the experiences that they had with their siblings that they wouldn't have anywhere else, if not for us. So I love my work, and I appreciate getting to talk about it here. Thank you so much.
That's awesome. I have another check for you, and a client was so happy about the audience, and their friends were so happy about what we do by donating to you that they asked send the information, because they're going to add on to what we donated. So it's just really good what you do, Stacy, and nice to talk about it. Speaking of talking about it, tomorrow at the Denver Beer Company, all the gang from Dear Comics at the Bar are going to be there. Steve, do you want to chat about your show, or would you like
Sure.
to plug it?
Sure. I'm a big fan of redundancy, especially when I can repeat it. So it's a show where we go to craft breweries and we sample their beers. And when there's a worldwide pandemic, sometimes we do it remotely. So that happens about half the time. And it's a chance to support local craft brewers and to give our views on where a craft beer might best be enjoyed. And also I get to see and talk with my favorite comedian friends about personal life issues that people sometimes ask us about, because if you know any stand-up comedians, you know they are an absolute wellspring of terrible advice about major life decisions. And so I've really enjoyed it, and I invited Chuck to the first show, and so far have not been able to dislodge him, but we've gone on, and a lot of the comedians you see on Chuck's shows, you've seen on my show, and we just try to recreate the fun of being in a green room with funny people when they let their guard down a little, or maybe throw back a few, or even a few root beers if that's your thing. Either way, it's a lot of fun. We're going to be live at the Denver Beer Company tomorrow. So if you're in Denver and want a fun time, you can listen to bands and us tell jokes.
Awesome. It's a great show. You post them on Anchor FM, and that taught us how to post open mic on Anchor FM. So you can go to that address. It's all available on my link tree. You can even find Dear Comics at the Bar and Elevating Connections on the link tree for Colorado Comedy. And if you're watching on the YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. It's fun. And Nelsine, we got you some gifts for our VIP customers. And we also have some general admission gifts. Here's present number one. I've been able to stop giving this away for a few weeks now. It's your very own set of washboards. Feel free to get your laundry done. And Chef Capone, our virtual event chef, made you a salad. And there he is. There's Chef Capone. And he's got another salad for you. So a brat and a delicious salad with a side of salad. And
hey, Chuck, did you re-gift those washboards?
Yes, I did. Chip, I'm not. I get a lot of use out of those washboards. And this guy, Chip, we've been giving this guy away for 6 weeks now. So
like a bad penny.
Where have I been? I have not seen him before. So
well. Oh, you haven't seen him before? He's been a popular gift on the open mic. Just working those
Chuck's secret stash
arm muscles.
Working something.
And now seeing you also get thanks for the applause and the big heart. Appreciate it. I'm glad you're enjoying the show. More show ahead. We just got to finish the prizes. There's French fries for general admission up there in the balcony, and we couldn't have you go without a side of salad. I think we're back to Steve Young and the virtual comedy battles. Everybody,
yeah.
Well, that was a terrific display there, Chuck. Battle number 3 is one for the ages, certainly, and by ages I mean aged. At least with one of them. Two of my favorite people in the world who also happen to be incredibly funny. Mike Langworthy versus Chuck Roy. So, man, oh man, buckle up. The first
did not know about this pairing. I didn't read the notes, apparently. I'm out.
I read the notes.
Kidding.
And I was supposed to be going up against Ned Rice.
Right. Ned had a family thing. So,
he fled in fear, Mike.
That's right. He was afraid. Yeah. He was afraid of you, Mike.
Ran from you, Mike. Said something about his mother-in-law.
Okay, I'm ready.
Round one is Michigan or Colorado. Mike, I'll defer to you. Would you like me to go first, or would you prefer to go first?
Oh, I think you should go first.
Excellent. Well, then, here's what I know about Colorado or Michigan. Colorado is higher than Michigan.
Yeah.
Thank you. We've got the Air Force Academy, and Michigan has the Militia Academy. First thing you learn about Michigan is that you can tell where you live by your hand, like they do the Michigan hand. Like I got a little wart down here, so that's where Mike was born. And then here's the Colorado hand. Up from there. Okay. Residents in Michigan were the first to get phone numbers. Mike's was Saginaw 5643. Battle Creek, Michigan is the world's capital of cereal. Kellogg's makes Mike's cereal, Grape Nuts. Mike puts the raisin in Raisin Bran. In fact, he remembers when Raisin Bran had fresh grapes. Michigan is home to a floating post office. There's also a floating bank that will float you a loan, a floating check cashing store that floats more than checks, and a floating massage parlor where you can get whatever floats your boat. Colorado has 300 days of sunshine every year, though it's mostly cloudy on 420. Colorado invented the cheeseburger. Our burgers are just like your jokes, Mike, covered in cheese. They're also rare. Okay.
Well, in the interest of time, I'll just take credit for half of those jokes. Full 2 minutes. And Stacy, you can call it a draw.
There's 2 more rounds. I don't have to decide yet.
Yeah, you don't have to decide, but it's not going to get any better from here.
I have more wine. It'll get a lot better.
Yeah, Michigan is a place where they name all the towns and all the streets after the people they killed to settle the land. It's the only place in America where you say you can come from the thumb and people know what you're talking about. It's the only state that has a lower peninsula and an upper peninsula. Mm-hmm. And the Upper Peninsula is where all the really, really stupid people live. The people are so stupid in the UP, they haven't quite yet understood how brilliant Donald Trump is. They're youpers. And they're the kind of people who will walk in with a handful of dog shit and say, hey, look what I almost stepped in. And, Colorado, on the other hand, is shaped like everybody I've ever met here's personality, square. I particularly like Denver, which was a mile high before weed was legal. I like the fact that the unsinkable Molly Brown's house is here, and it's very interesting that she's unsinkable, but her house is made of granite. I don't know exactly how she worked that, but I'm pretty sure she was actually not the unsinkable Molly Brown, but the unsinkable Molly Brown's husband, who dressed like the unsinkable Molly Brown to get on a lifeboat. And you know what? Uncharacteristically, apparently, for this competition, I'm going to stop at 1 minute.
Oh, wow. Wow. I see what he's doing there. Oh, I see what he's doing there. You're throwing a flag on the play, huh?
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not. No, Chuck, I know you need extra time. You know, you dug a deep hole. You dug a deep hole for yourself choosing these topics. So. And by the way, I think I speak for all of us when I say thanks for the travelogue. Next time, jokes. Okay.
Well, speaking of jokes, topic 2 is your writing sample is so hack. Here, ladies first. Mike's writing sample is so hacked that Harvey Weinstein is using it to break out of jail. When Mike dusts off his jokes, there's dust from Pompeii. Mike's writing sample includes the best jokes he wrote for Buster Keaton. His writing sample is so hack, all the McDonald's drive-through jokes are written in Braille. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Mike Langworthy's writing sample.
Mike Langworthy's writing
sample.
Mike Langworthy's writing sample. Who reads this stuff? Why did the chicken cross the road?
I know.
To get away from Mike's writing sample. And in conclusion, Mike Langworthy's writing sample are the best jokes written on parchment.
Well, that was good. You decided to trade on the fact that I'm old. That's the kind of stunning insight that is all the way through your writing sample. I'm not saying your writing sample is hack, Chuck. I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm just saying that when Maury Amsterdam read it, he too. I'm not saying it's hack. I'm telling you, it's not hack. It's not a hack thing. When you wrote a I'm sorry. It makes me laugh just to think about it. He wrote a spec Barney Miller and it wasn't set in a police station. I'm not saying it's hack, Chuck.
No.
It's hack, Chuck. But a writing sample. He sent it to Saturday Night Live. And at the end of every premise, it was jokes to come.
That fit right in on Saturday night.
I'm not saying it's hack. I'm just saying that, I know people. Oh, there's my minute. Never mind.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no, finish. You started. Continuation.
And there would be a punchline at the end of it. And it would be different than Chuck's act.
No.
It's writing sample.
I am the comedian who has no punchline.
Those are optional.
So round 3, it's a 5-round battle, everybody. And coming up, Danny Rydell versus Bruce Lipsky. Topic 3, Mike, Chick Corea. Chick Corea. And ladies first. When it comes to jazz music, Chick Corea is a Scientologist. Mike's a lot like Chick Corea. They're both white guys that know how to succeed, but they can't play jazz. The documentary about Chick Corea is shorter than his songs. It's so bad the soundtrack uses someone else's music. Hiring Chick Corea is proof that Miles Davis did drugs. In fact, Chick Corea is the only chick Miles Davis wouldn't fuck. His influences include Dizzy Gillespie, Charlie Parker, and eating lead paint as a child. I've made hummus so jazzy and smooth, it was made out of Chick Corea peas. And finally, Chick Corea's holiday album is a real gift because he never recorded one.
Wow. Well, I hope I have time to bathe in heavy water before I start my set, because that was, I think Hiroshima suffered less damage than sensibilities in the last minute. And not to mention Chick Corea's reputation. You always got to go for the big guys, don't you, Chuck? So, Chick Corea's, I've been following Chick Corea since he was just a boy, and he went as Egg Korea. And I love his children, Hen and Rooster Korea.
Hello.
Yeah. He can do things on a piano that used to be illegal. Before Melania was in the White House. Chick Corea happens to be a great jazz musician, and I take great umbrage at all the slander against him, because he can do more with chopsticks than everyone in China combined.
Wow.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying he's a great pianist. I'm just saying that he knows how to work the black keys and the white keys. And when I say black keys, I mean African-American keys, of course. 2021, even Chick Corea, who, I did not know was white until 5 minutes ago. Because he's so good at jazz, I just assumed that he was black. And speaking of black, I like my piano players the way I like my, no, never mind. The way I like my women, black and scarred by 400 years of institutional racism.
Oh, God.
So anyways, I'll end on that.
Please do. Please do.
Wow, that last chick joke really laid an egg.
Yes, it certainly did. It hatched well, though.
Right. Round 4, Mike. We've 2 more topics. This next topic, silent movies, Mike. Silent movies. And again, ladies first. Mike, if you don't know, Mike loves to preach about the high quality of silent movies. He preaches so much about how awesome silent movies are. They call him the silent movie chaplain. You know the scenes where the bad guy ties up the girl and puts her on the train tracks? Sure. They tell me Mike screamed when he saw the train. He was worried the girl would damage the engine. Mike's first girlfriend was silent movie star Maud Feely. The first time he saw her, he wanted to give her a big Feely. He broke up with her when he found out she could talk. I like silent movies. In fact, I wish The Notebook was a silent movie. One last one. Here's my silent movie joke.
It's funny because it's true, Chuck.
Yeah. I was waiting for the punchline, but then I have since this round started. I'm merely saying, silent movies. Wow, I love silent movies. A lot of them have been lost to history because they were made on acetate and they just deteriorated over time. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see Lon Chaney's classic, The Hunchback of Beverly Hills. Charlie Chaplin made a movie called The Kid. He also made the European version of it had him fucking a goat. People don't know that about the silent films. And there's some film that we haven't been able to make it absolutely true that it actually happened, because there is film somewhere of Charlie Chaplin marrying a woman who is of age. We haven't been able to confirm that at this point. Of course, I think everyone's his favorite silent movie is Birth of a Nation, which depicts the heartwarming story of the brave members of the KKK who kept white men dressed as black men doing dances in Congress as if they were monkeys from taking over the nation. And I think it's important for us to know that even in 1915, D.W. Griffith had his hand on the pulse of how white Americans actually feel about black people. That's not supposed to be funny, and I'm glad that you didn't laugh. So silent movies are great. I always loved the comedy, the silent comedies, because how else could you get a laugh without really saying anything? I think it got into comedy for us to demonstrate it. I think I'm gonna end on that. Buster Keaton and Diane Keaton have both said the same number of funny things out loud. So anyway, that's.
Okay. Do you want to go now?
Because yeah, that's good. That's good.
What can you do?
Or maybe I was muted.
Here's the that'd be me. I'm the one who always does that. Here's our final topic. Mike Langworthy versus Chuck Roy. You won't believe this. Mike, you won't believe this. And I'll go first. Mike, you won't believe this, but when I was 8 years old, I took organ lessons. And I want to thank Father McNulty for teaching me everything I know about fingering.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. All right. At the end of 8th grade, you will not believe this, Mike, but at the end of 8th grade, I found out that I won the Home Ec Award. And because I was a good cook, and I made a cute set of pajamas for my teddy bear. I didn't know I was gay, but I knew that if I showed up and accepted that award, everyone else would know I was gay. I'm good at macrame. That's something else you may not believe, but I'm good at macrame. That's when you use a cord to weave knots into something fancy like a wall hanging or a door knocker. You already know that I have nice knockers. But if you want a macrame door knocker out of me, you got to say macrame I. I wasn't going to do that joke. Then I was like, macrame. Life is good at the Community College of Denver. I'm now acting interim adjunct council chair. If I get elected to the office, I'm so fat now that I'll be the adjunct council sofa. You won't believe this, but we are no longer going to use books at the Community College of Denver. We're just going to teach the kids how to get all their answers from the Facebook comment section. And you may not believe this, but we had to boil water here in Englewood. We got a boil water notice from the city, and I never got one of those. Like an emergency, you have to boil water. So I had to look it up online, and then I discovered this historic fact. You won't believe this, but this is how they do a boil water warning in Switzerland. E. coli. That's it for me.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it.
I admire you for choosing not to end that last joke. Well, Chuck, nice job. I think you've done really well the entire time, in every one. You know.
Thank you.
I don't know what Stacy's going to say, but I thought you did great. I really did. This last one, yeah. You won't believe this, but Chuck is actually very funny in conversation. You won't. Yeah, you won't believe this, but Chuck has actually had sex with a woman. I don't even believe it. I just said it. No, you won't believe this, but one of my favorite things to do is watch Rick Bryan smoke pot. I don't know what it is, but there's just something primal about it.
It's joyful.
It's like watching two things that belong together, like chocolate and peanut butter, like yin and yang, like Chuck's penis and an anus.
Wow.
Things that just belong together. You won't believe this, but I was absolutely convinced that Birth of a Nation joke was going to go over big. You won't believe this, but I've enjoyed every minute of this show tonight. All right, come on. It's better than that. That deserves. I'm not letting you get away with that one, because it was a thing on myself. All right. Anyway, you won't believe this, but my time is up.
Damn. Well, we do have one prize, and I should hand over the hosting duties to Steve Young for our next battle. Stacy, this is the prize. One of us wins, Mike or I.
Well,
I don't know which one you win, Mike. I might get the paddle boarder, or we might just go
to him.
Might just go paddle boarding. Stacy,
there are choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, Stacey, who are you going to choose? Choose, Stacey. Who are you going to choose? Who
I
won,
think
Stacey?
You're not going to
I
believe
think you're going to
this.
be
but-
surprised at who I choose. You would think Chuck Roy is my favorite comedian, but I love you, Chuck Roy, but I'm giving this one to Mike.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. He was funnier.
You're very
He was
wise,
funnier.
Stacey. You're very
Right,
wise.
way to go. Congratulations,
Yes,
Mike. Congratulations, Mike.
That was not an easy choice, I'll tell you what, because Chuck Roy, I mean,
Right. I'll still put checks in the mail.
all right, thank you.
Chuck wrote some of the funniest sneer jokes of the evening.
Well, I'm very excited, Chuck, to be the one, I guess, to announce the new charity beneficiary of the Colorado Comedy.
No,
A charity devoted to separating siblings that never really cared for one.
That's fun.
Oh man. So moving right along, that was terrific. Thanks everyone for listening and for joining this. I'm really enjoying this too. You wouldn't believe it. But we've reached the ultimate battle number 4. You know, if you're doing a movie series, you should stop at 4. And so here we are with the IV. We've got a better IV than anyone in Alabama, but we've got Danny Riedel against Bruce Lipsky. So I'm very excited about this. And it's a 5-round battle. And the first topic, a topical one, I dare say, current events. So, Danny, are you ready to go first on current events?
Sure.
Awesome. Let's hear it.
Awesome. Yeah.
So there was a Senate session recently. I'm sorry, did I say Senate session? I meant child's birthday party. This was last week. So I'll tell you who has 99 problems. Bernie Sanders. And the biggest one is from Alabama, and his name is Richard Shelby. Senator Richard Shelby is kind of a medical mystery because he was born in 1934, but somehow he's only 6. So what happened was Ted Cruz got up and said to the room, everyone, well, you know, we agreed for this party. We're going to have strawberry cake. Is that still okay with everyone? And Richard Shelby said, I will only eat strawberry cake if I can also have an Xbox. To which Bernie Sanders said, no, Dick, you cannot have an Xbox because you will use it for evil and it's not even your birthday. And this would be funnier if strawberry cake didn't represent an infrastructure bill and the Xbox didn't represent $50 billion in military funding just for Alabama. Current events are terrifying.
Awesome. Danny Riedel.
Right. Awesome. Let's hear it for Danny, everybody. Let's hear it. Bringing the birthday party alive. And so, Bruce, you ready? Are you ready to?
I'm ready.
Join the combat here. So let's hear Bruce's take on current events, everybody.
Thank you. This just in, a story about a landlord complaining about one of his tenants. This filthy tenant left behind 5,000 beer cans filled with urine in his 3-bedroom apartment. And he complained because his toilet was broken. And I was trying to figure this thing out. I don't know if I should be appalled or impressed. You know, at 5 cents a can, he left behind $250. But I'd really be impressed if his toilet was only broken for a week. And you may have heard this, the Chinese military just launched a new aircraft carrier. But with this aircraft carrier, they're also launching a new line of clothing. They're going to offer, you know, things like T-shirts, jackets, cold weather parkers, coveralls, and basketball shorts. Because China's trying to increase the military's popularity. But when interviewed, they asked about the ship and some information, and all they said was they were involved in COVID operations. Thank you. That's my time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Bruce.
Yeah.
That was terrific. So, Bruce, to be fair, we're gonna start with you in the second round. So,
Okay.
towel off. Put the ice under the eye. Do what you got to do. But the next topic, and judging from your accent, this is like in your sweet spot, I'm guessing. So let's. The next topic is Downton Abbey. So.
Okay. Actually, when I first saw this, that's how much I know about this. I thought it was Downtown Abbey. And so when I went to listen to the show, I was expecting Petula Clark to start singing. Didn't quite work that way. But I started looking up some famous quotes in Downton Abbey. One was, good men, they're not like buses. There won't be another one around in 10 minutes. That's like the New York City rush hour here, I guess. Another famous quote: "There's nothing more ill-bred than trying to steal the affections of one's dog." Now, I don't know what's going on in Downton Abbey, but I think the king's got some problems. And if you must pay money, it's better to be a doctor than an undertaker. Now, I don't know how many people they're killing over in Downton Abbey, but I tell you the truth, I think Downtown Abbey would probably be more funny than Downton Abbey. Thank you. That's my minute.
Oh, well, let's hear it for Bruce. Straight from the PBS auction. He obviously is I feel like I don't need to watch the show anymore. I saved a lot of time. I can binge watch Bruce. So, Danny, I don't know how you follow, but you're up, and let's hear your take on Downton Abbey, please.
So I've actually never watched Downton Abbey, and the reason for that is I heard the title and saw what it was about, I think, and I just assumed it was going to be boring. But I think the reason people like it so much is like everything is a little more entertaining with a British accent. So what I have been inspired to do is I would like to experiment by telling some of my existing jokes in different British accents and see whether you like better the RP British accent or the Cockney British accent. So here we go. I just came from an AA meeting. That's what I call putting fresh batteries in my vibrator. Just came from an AA meeting. That's what I call putting fresh batteries in my vibrator. That is the worst Cockney accent I've ever done. I picked the wrong joke, I think. But anyway, all I know about the show is they speak in a British accent, probably the RP, which is the one I'm good at. So that's my time. Thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right. The next topic in this battle is I think we lost Steve for a second. The next topic in this battle is what Chuck Roy doesn't know about men.
We're giving him an hour. We're giving him an hour.
Who would you like to go first, Steve?
Why don't we say it with Danny? Because I think she would know.
So Chuck has an MBA, which is a master's in business administration. So they don't teach you much about men there. So there's a lot I think that Chuck Roy doesn't know about men, which is, for example, did you probably didn't know that in the penis there is something called the corpus spongiosum and something called the corpus cavernosum.
No, I didn't know that.
You may have learned in business school that Spongiosum cavernosum is also the Latin name of the family estate of the SquarePants family.
Wow. Tastes awful.
So, on that note, you may not learn in business school why men evolved to have dicks, but perhaps you understand the cultural reasons why wealthy businessmen become dicks. And, you know, maybe they don't teach psychopathology in business school. So maybe you don't know exactly why some of these men are so driven by crude greed. But you do know how to keep them from getting caught committing white collar crime. So it all balances out.
Awesome.
Danny Rydell, that was hilarious. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
So Bruce, I'm sure you have some thoughts, and we're all ready for them. So
thank you so much. Thank you.
Don't feel constrained by 1 minute.
Okay. Okay, I just want to let you know there's actually no correlation between a man's foot size and its penis size.
No.
So much for your size 12 loafers. But there is a correlation with a man's nose size and his penis size.
Lucky Mrs. Lipsky.
I don't know if you know this, but men can actually produce milk from their breasts. I don't know if you've ever tasted any of this or not, Chuck, but this is a fact. Did you know this? Sometimes it's skimmed, sometimes it's whole milk, you know. But more importantly, do you know men have a G-spot?
No.
It's called their prostate.
All right, I knew that.
That may explain why you go for monthly exams.
Yeah, Bruce. Okay, well, this is a particularly relevant topic because this is one of my favorite topics, frankly. It's because it's an effortless talent. I think it's fair to say none of us have, but it's the topic, Bruce, is Zoom crowd work. So how do you do that Zoom crowd work?
Zoom crowd work. Oh, I pick out that one person. Stacy, remember the days when we used to go dancing at the discotheques? We get on that dance floor when you go bust a move. Nowadays, I'm
all
afraid
the time.
Now I'm afraid to take my wife dancing. I may bust a hip. Oh, it's tough. It's tough. You know, even, getting old, Danny, you're a young woman. When I look in the mirror, I look like a rusted old Buick. You may be making fun of me, and maybe laughing at me, but just think about it. In 20 years, you're going to look in the mirror, you're going to look like a rusted old Prius. Yeah. And Chip, I love your background over there. Do you live in the red state or anything? Or the state of confusion, like I am right now. But thank you.
Yeah, Bruce. Yeah. Not easy to perform from the conning tower of a captured World War II U-boat, but he did it. So Danny Rydell, a chance that every comedian enjoys greatly. Let's see some Zoom crowd work.
Yeah.
Well, I actually want to tell you guys a little secret about what Zoom crowd work actually is. This entire time, and I guess I probably shouldn't be saying this live on YouTube, we have actually been training as secret agents for when we get into some sticky situations. So when we do Zoom crowd work, what we're really doing is teaching you to be hostage negotiators. You need to learn to read the code. Like if I were to say to somebody, if I were to say, hey, you in the blue shirt, what do you do for a living? That's actually code for they're going to send a finger. That is the dark secret of Zoom crowd work.
Awesome.
So, hey, Chuck, we're down to the final round. I know it's close on all the judges' scorecards. All one of the judges.
Yes.
So, I think it only fair to flip a coin. Do you have a virtual coin? Do you have?
I do.
Some sort of. Do you have any coins? Because we're certainly not seeing any of them over here in the.
Right. All my virtual coins come up heads.
There's a
Not
coin
sure why. How about we'll do ladies first. That should be the right.
Bruce, it is then, I guess.
My secret is out.
So what's the topic for round the final round, Steve? I forget.
Well, it's a quite clear and precise and constraining, frankly, topic. If you ask me, Chuck, it is big finale. So
damn. Here we go, the big finale.
Well, so on that topic, as many of you know, I am actually an alcoholic. And when I quit drinking, I really started masturbating a lot more, having sex more. And I realized, well, I'll tell you this, guys, the story of how this came to be. My liver was the reason that I quit drinking. It wanted to retire. It had put in its career in the short amount of time, the 40 years that I've been alive. And but it, it couldn't just like leave me alone with my vices. So it had to have some uncomfortable conversations with my other body parts to make sure everything was taken care of. So my liver had a very diplomatic conversation with my clit and basically said, listen, she's got impulse control problems. She's been a handful for both of us. But listen, look, when I was working hard, she always said vodka is the vibrator of beverages. But I'm telling you, little buddy, you got this, because if vodka is the vibrator of beverages, then vibrators are the vodka of the vulva. You got this. You may be, though you be but little, you are fierce. And everyone, that is just a summary of who I am. I cannot think of a better way to handle the topic of addiction than by having my liver quote Shakespeare to my clit. Thank you. Good night.
Bravo.
Wow.
Bravo.
That was outstanding. Danny Rydell, everybody, let's hear it for a very personal take on iambic pentameter, I got to say. So, Bruce Lipsky,
okay,
are you ready?
I'm ready. I mean, how do you top vulvas and clits? I don't know, but
oh my.
Some of you may have heard this story before. Actually, I graduated high school in the early 1970s, and we were required to take swim class in order to pass gym. So the first day I got to swim class, I asked my teacher, where's my Speedo? He looked at me and said, Speedo, how about speed? No, this is a naked swim class. He said, your birthday suit is your bathing suit. So I looked at him and I said, you don't teach woodshop, do you? Imagine being 14 years old, having to do fort skinny dipping among all your classmates. At that age, I barely had eyebrows. Then I realized we were probably filming a pilot for that series, Naked and Afraid, because I was naked and very afraid. And during the class, we played water polo. Water polo. And I'd be hanging out in the corner of the pool, and the teacher would be saying, hey, Lipsky, protect your nets, protect your nets. I would yell back and say, to hell with that, I'm trying to protect my nuts. I guess the good thing about it, I became an excellent one-handed swimmer. And in competitions, I always held my own. But also one final thing, that swim class gave me a lot of really, confidence with the ladies, especially when I perfected the breaststroke behind the bleachers for Mary Lou Zabrinsky. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Let's hear it from Bruce Lipsky, confirming everyone's suspicion about every gym teacher they ever met. So,
And the sad part is the true story.
That was troubling. I was going to pretend you made that up, but not now. So
it was a Catholic school.
Of course it was. Oh my gosh. So they were showing videos in the confession booth, I'm guessing. But so, hey, I don't know how you decide this, Stacy, but between Bruce and Danny, very strong performances. I know you're going over your cards. I know you had the Cyber Ninjas chip in a little, but where are we going with this?
Yeah, this one, I love you, Chuck, but I don't want to judge this stuff again.
Somehow Chuck lost this round. All right. Well,
you're all funny. But I'm going to give it to my girl, Danny. So, yeah. Both of you are very funny. Danny. You're all funny.
Well, if we've learned anything tonight, we've learned that Stacey Sanders can be bought.
That's it.
And Danny, extra checks in the mail.
All you need is a couple fresh AA batteries, and you can buy it.
Danny, we got you this cool prize. You're on the spaceship. So, because you're really out of this world. So
which looks frighteningly like a vibrator. I'm just gonna say.
Is that what a vibrator looks like? Oh my god.
We call it the cock rocket.
I've never seen one before.
All right. Well, Stephen, great job hosting tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My pleasure. This was really a spirited contest, Chuck, and a great idea, and everybody was so fun. I never liked comedy contests for the sort of arbitrary part of picking a winner, because I felt like everybody was great tonight. So
yeah, for sure. And many of you will donate to Elevating Connections. I know that I won't, and Rick Bryan won't, and neither will Bruce Lipsky and Bronco Brad. No, we're all going to be at Denver Beer Company tomorrow to raise money for Elevating Connections. We appreciate you, Stacy. Judging was a challenge, and so thank you for taking that on. And please watch Dear Comics at the Bar. Thanks to Stephen Young for hosting. I love your show, and I plan to be a guest on it for life.
We assume that by now. That's good. Whose life, Chuck? So
right.
Mike Langworthy's.
Yeah, see, no. I didn't have to do it. This time.
You're canceling us in our second season.
All right. That's okay. I'll dance on your grave, Young. I'll dance on your grave.
Right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Thanks to Rick Bryan. I really appreciate you, Rick Bryan.
Always, buddy.
And Chip Jones. You're both gentlemen. What a great fight. I'm going to give it away. Ed Smythe is both Bronco Brad and Oog, son of Og. So thank you so much. Our dear friend.
Wow.
Rigged.
Milli Vanilli does.
Right. And
Chuck, that's like giving away a magician's secret. You're not supposed to do that.
No. He's funny. Go see him. And Mike Langworthy, thank you for all your nice, kind words. And fuck you. I'll see you at Winchell's. I'm buying. And Danny and Bruce Lipsky, thank you so much for a wonderful big finale. And Stephen, thanks again for hosting, everybody. And I appreciate you. This has been the Virtual Comedy Battles. Thanks for watching, everybody, on YouTube. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
All right.
Yeah.